Coaching leader models are great. Not everybody's good at it. Not everybody's a great coach. Some are great leaders, but not great coaches.
Hello and welcome to Meet the Coach series. I'm your host, Carla Egan, and today we're exploring the broader application of coaching throughout the various stages of your career. Our guest today is Rod Francisco from Habitude. Rod is a business and a workplace coach with a lot of experience in making workplaces better by actively shaping the culture through behaviour design and development. Rod's based in Mackay in Queensland and joins me today. Welcome to Meet the Coach podcast, Rod.
Thanks, Carla. It's great to be here today. Thank you.
Now, this is a great topic that we're jumping into, Rod, because we're seeing a shift towards businesses and organisations using a combination of internal and external coaching services for leaders and for their employees. So given this shift, I'd like to just start off and ask you, how does an external coach like yourself work with internal support in a workplace where an employee may already have that in their career?
It's an excellent question, Carla, and probably the most important thing to understand for people engaging in coaches where there's already internal services being provided, or they may have external mentoring as well, is that the coaching service being provided externally is one of those things that's independent of what is happening internally within the business. So they can be very objective about how they view what that individual is talking about, but also gives them an opportunity to discuss the issues that are here and now that they may be not necessarily uncomfortable, but unsure about how to approach internally. And if they've got a lot of things going on internally, that opportunity to talk to somebody externally, particularly in the coaching realm, provides them with a really great opportunity to get another set of ideas. What we often see is internal coaching and external mentoring. And so the key thing from my perspective is that an internal or external coaching is the here and now, whereas the external mentoring is somebody that might be looking more broader and a longer term focus for the individual. And what we can do is we can take, as an external coach, we can look at the obstacles that the employee might be facing and really objectify them, and down to the simple terms, take the emotion out of it and enable the employee to work through those processes. We may also, as part of the coaching process, give them a reality check because we are in that coaching process asking them about their willingness to commit to the change that they need, to the growth that they need. And it might be a bit of a reality check, is that, you know what, I really want to do that, but I'm not ready to do that. But also what we can do is help them build the relationships. What are they looking to seek in terms of this growth of themselves internally? Where do they want that to land? And how do they make that work for themselves? And the last thing we can do, really importantly for them, is help them create the vision. What does success look like? And from my perspective as a coach, that's the real key part that you can do externally. Help create that vision, define success.
Oh, I like that. What does success look like? I've made some notes down here, and I like the idea that, you know, coaches do provide a different perspective, new ideas, and perhaps different approaches to problem solving because, you know, you're seeing it with fresh eyes. And I love that. But yeah, how do you define success? And what are those barriers to achieving that? Rod, let's talk about your experience, because you've got a lot of experience in coaching and in the workplace. So what are the more difficult phases of your career where coaching can actually add some real value?
Probably the most common one that people come across is starting a new job. And everybody thinks of starting a new job as, I've started a new job with another company, whereas actually it could be a sideways move. It could be a promotion. For some people these days, it might be a step down to a less demanding role, or you could literally be working with a new employer. And coaching at that point in time helps you reset where you're thinking. It's a new job, it's new KPIs, it's new objectives, it's a new supervisor. What the external coach can do is enable you to understand, how do I reset myself so that I can get the best out of it? It might be that you're working on a new project in a matrix type environment, and you're dealing with a whole new team. So it's work you're already familiar with, the employer you're already familiar with. And the coach can help you work your way through that myriad of new, norming, storming type phase with a new group. You might be building a team, recruiting new roles in. You might be rebuilding a team. Though you might be returning from an extended absence. So what the coach's main focus is on enabling you to step into that realm of new territory with a support mechanism there. Yes, you might be well versed in how the organisation works, but what we can do is help you understand, here's some of the nuances you might be doing, or you might be encountering behaviours that you've not encountered before, and you're thinking about how can I approach those to deliver myself a successful outcome.
I like your point around return to work. For some people, that transition back into the workplace can be tough if you've had a baby or you've been absent for a period of time due to health or the health of a loved one. I also think coaching could be good for a new job if you've been recently promoted, and helping that first 3 months in that transition of a new role. So I love the stages that you're talking about, but in particular around entering the new job. Rod, workplaces have coaches. Some of them have internal coaches. So how do you navigate the synergies when a leader is already providing coaching services to an employee and they have an external coach come in like yourself? How do you combine the synergies between the two?
It's a really interesting topic to go into, because I've been both an internal coach within an organisation. I now do external coaching, but I've also implemented, working in the HR team, the coaching leader model into organisations where the supervisors and the leaders of the organisation actually have coaching skills. And one of the things that I think is really important in this perspective is it's not an either or. There's a synergy between internal coaching and external coaching. And one of those things is coaching leader models are great. Not everybody's good at it. Not everybody's a great coach. Some are great leaders, but not great coaches. And so what it is that you, as the employee who's experiencing this coaching leader model for the first time, may well be, how do I get the best out of it? How do I leverage that? How do I really make this coaching leader model work for me? And that's where the external coach can come in. Also, it enables then for the leader who's coaching their team to either be coached themselves to support them in their skill development, their capability development, or it might be that you're there assisting some of these people in that team to grow their coachable skills. How do they interact better with this coaching leader who's now really doing this for the first time? And some of the key things that come out of that is we can be looking at building that employment relationship, that trust, on how that new leader makes it work with the new team. And the thing around it too is that as a coach, external to the organisation, I'm devoid of that emotional attachment to the outcomes. So I can be really objective about how things work for that leader and how that works for the team that's being coached.
I like your unique approach to that and your unique perspective, because you've been on both sides. You've been that internal coach and now you're an external coach. And so I'm sure that you are navigating that delicate balance between the two, making sure that it is aligned. Rod, as a coach yourself, a business and a workplace coach, what does joining the coaching directory mean to you and your business?
For me, joining the coaching directory is a really important aspect of my development as a coach. I'm sitting in a community of excellence amongst coaches, amongst people who are happy to interact, share, and enable me to grow as a coach. It's certainly one of those things, is that opportunity for me to go and find somebody that I can have as a coach. As part of that continual growth and that continual learning, being part of that community is a really, really fundamental part to me being successful as a coach and my business as providing coaching services.
We've loved having you on our directory, Rod. And look, that brings us to the end of our Meet the Coach interview. This has actually been a really great topic, because the shift that we've been talking about, Rod, means that coaching is no longer a privilege reserved for the C-suite executives. It's fast becoming part of employee development programs and employee retention programs. And I reckon that's great news for everyone. So thanks for shining a spotlight on this, Rod.
Thank you. It's been great to be here, Carla.
And for those of you that would keen to dive deeper into the realms of coaching and professional development and personal development, subscribe to our newsletter. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review us, and be sure to catch us in the next episode. This is Carla Egan from the Coaching Directory, where we connect you to your ideal coach.